facing another Power 5 opponent in Illinois. And the good thing about this team is you look at the resiliency from 10 points down, and then you're able to go and get an 11-point win. We know there's a lot of improvement that we're going to have to make. You look at us just on defense, tackling, we're going to have to do a better job of tackling, just fitting gaps. And then just offensively, just staying in rhythm. Offense is about rhythm. Defense is about just creating disruption. But very pleased with our players. I told them yesterday, we had a walkthrough yesterday and just talked to them about just how hard we play. And when you go win games, it's about just practicing hard, just work ethic, and just continue to be consistent. And it starts in practice, and we know this. This is one of those games, I call it a trap game, just because you can't let last week's performance get in the way of your preparation for this week. But really excited about it, looking forward to another challenge, looking forward to just going on the road. Anytime you go on the road, you got to pack your defense, and you got to play together as a team, because you're not going to have that many fans there, and the fans that we do have there are going to be in support of us. But we just know this, it's going to take a total team effort on our part.
Do you think this team has the potential to accomplish something like UCF did last year?
Well, it's just so hard to say now, just 2 games into the season. And we go these 4 here, so you get the stretch of you go Illinois, then you get ECU. Then we take a break, and then we have 8 games. Of that 8 games, 5 of them are on the road. So you have to go to Houston. You're going to have to go to Cincinnati. You have to go to Temple. Those are just 3 teams I'm thinking about right now. UMass, who's has a lot of returners. So we're going to have to play well on the road. And then if we can play well on the road, we'll see what we can get accomplished.
Do you think this team is better at looking at each game, one game at a time, and not looking ahead than last year?
Well, you try to take it, and that falls on the coaches there, where you want to look at it just one game at a time. And so if we do a good job just as a coach of preparing them for that, just for that moment, like last week against Georgia Tech, we talked about, hey, it's Georgia Tech, and that's all we need to focus on. And it made a big deal about it. We need to play well. We need to go win this football game. So now it's all about us getting prepared for Illinois. And the thing about it is you had so much preparation put into it last week. Even the guys was telling me, they said, Coach, practice was so hard last week, and we get into the game and we was cutting those DBs, and they didn't. I think Mazzy told me today, he said, Coach, I got cut one time. He said, last week you cut us every snap. And I said, yeah, I just figure that's what option teams do. They're going to cut you. But it's all about the preparation and how we prepare them.
Charlie, you referenced the resilience during that comeback. What is allowed to create that resilience? Is it specific players? Is it a specific mentality?
Well, it's a combination of the players. And you look at it, and I think it started the 4th quarter, we were 10 down. And so then we have the ball on offense, and we take and go get a score. So I think 8 minutes into the game, we were 3 down, and they were driving the ball. And it's like, oh, God, we can't give up another score here. Even if we give up a score, give up a field goal, so we can eat. We're 6 down now. So offensively, we're going to be good enough to take the ball down there and go score with it. And then Bentley comes up with a big turnover on a fumble, and then we get the ball, and then we take it down the field and go score. Then we get another turnover with Saltel. But it's, they just kept believing they were going to win that game. Even at 10 down, they just kept saying playing hard. And then my guy goes down. When Hoggins went down, I said, oh, man, what are we going to do? And I think he was only out 3 snaps. Maybe he didn't play 3 snaps in that whole game, and he was back in the game. So I think the players saw him fight back and come back on the field. I mean, we was getting ready to go on the field on defense, and he comes running up in the huddle, Coach, I'm ready to go. I said, I thought you were out. He said, no, I want to go, Coach. I got to go. But it's the way, just the way this team is. And you don't really have a true leader. You just got a good group of guys. I think Blake's presence here have really helped this football team, because you get a guy like Blake who's came in, and guys have just really taken him in. And he's not arrogant. He's not cocky. He's just one of them. And I think when the guys see that in him being a quarterback, then it kind of just sprinkles through the whole team. What I try to do is I always look at the big guys because those are guys that I really want to empower. So it's like Norman, it's Atterbury, and Mays on offense because they're the three offensive linemen. They're the older guys. So if I empower those guys, then the team will look at, your offensive linemen, and they're playing so well right now. 2 games into it, they play really well. So if I just keep empowering our big guys, then, little guys, they're always going to play just skill with them, kick them the ball, and they're going to be like Horn, go run it back. But the big guys are the key.
Do games like that and moments like that, though, create natural leaders with all being cued on it? Are those the games you look to for those emergencies?
Well, you look at the one on Saturday. You look at the play that is the 4th and 1 with big guy with McCants making the catch, and I said to Sterling, I said, man, we need 7 here. We don't need 3. We got to get 7. And I said, let's go for it. And it's 4th and 1, and I said, if anything, get a ball to McCants because he'll get us 1 yard. They're not going to knock him back. If we just get him going forward, and with him getting the first down, but like they play with him, and then you look at Sawtell making a play, and even with McGee played unbelievable that game. I think the second or third play they flipped him on his head and he bounced up but he just came back and just made a ton of tackles. But guys see how other players are playing, so it kind of they're seeing how hard they play, and they just start playing. Like Kegler played a game of his life, and I never would have expected that from him. The way he mopes around, I was like totally. And I told him, I said, I'm totally shocked at the way you played today. He said, Coach, I told you I wasn't gonna let that guy cut me. You told me he's gonna cut me, and I was gonna be rolled out of the game. I said, I did. I did. I told him in practice. I said, I'm gonna bet 5 plays that you'll play, and then you'll be done for the rest of the day. And he said, you still waiting for me to come out, huh? I said, no, it didn't happen for us.
Coach, when did Horn first show up on your radar?
Cogdell, we was recruiting Horn, so it came down to us. He tries to say Arizona State, but Arizona State was never a pitcher. It's us and ECU. So Cogs, we're at. He comes up to me. He says, Coach, it was bowl practice. We're at bowl practice. And he says, hey, I need to leave, so I got to go see Horn. And I said, okay, he better be really good. And I said, but he was, you just never knew how fast he was because we didn't get a chance to see him in the spring to run track. And he comes in here on a visit, and he was, he's a little guy. And I said to him, I said, man, you better be fast because you're too little to do anything else. And so we ended up signing him. And then when we got him out here in camp, first Horn in May, he sent me his highlight or the 100-meter race where he won. And he said, Coach, I was in lane 1. What if I had been in 4 or 5? How fast would I have been? But he won it from lane 1, which is very unusual for that to happen. And so he won, the 4A or 5A? He won the 100 meters. And I said, my man, he can fly. And if he did that, he can really run. And then we get him out here in camp. And he runs a vertical. Like, he didn't even know how to run a route. He just took off and just ran past our DBs, and Blake laid one out and just ran past. And I said, wow. And it wasn't no move. It wasn't anything. It was just a takeoff, dead run. And so you kept watching him. He kept making plays like that at practice. And I said, we just got to find him. Like, give him the ball. Just hand it to him on a reverse play or something. Just give him the football. But he works hard, doesn't say nothing, has a little smile on his face. And even when we threw him the one on the touchdown, the one he scored there, same thing that we threw to McCants. Made the guy fake miss, and then he cuts back in there and scores. But and I think that what happens, he got so much respect from our vets because he doesn't say nothing. He just smiles. He don't say much at all, but just goes about the work.
Speaking of Horn, you talk about your first-year players overall and how well they performed after 2 weeks.
Well, when you go back to it, so we start on, we talked about Horn. St. Felix has played well. The one there Saturday that we laid out to him, I thought he was going to run underneath it and make that big catch. Even with, Wiggs being a center for the first year has been special, and Harris playing next to him at guard. There's 2 young linemen there that are playing well. The running back position, Cronkite coming in for the first time, hasn't played in 2 years. This was big for him. He goes in, he would have started for us in the first game, end up spraining an ankle on a Wednesday practice. And then, so he was out, and it really upset him. But for him to bounce back and come back in this game, which was really big. And then you look at us on defense, Kegler is a name that I was talking about earlier. Livingstone coming back after a shoulder surgery 2 years ago with him playing so well. With McGee moving him from safety to linebacker. I'm trying to think about these guys as we go along, but Hampton playing outside at corner now. So all those guys, they've been given opportunity, and a lot of them are stepping up and taking advantage of it.
A lot of focus, obviously, on Horn this weekend. The two fastest receivers in Tampa Bay had quite the weekend. So who's faster, Horn or Deshaun Jackson?
I have to go with Horn, but Deshaun gonna say he's faster. But Horn did win the 100 meters. I don't know if Deshaun did.
Just your initial impressions of Illinois, what sticks out to you about those guys?
Well, you look at them on offense; they lose their quarterback, and then they come back with the Rivers. So they come back with the Rivers. So now, just at the quarterback position, you're looking at two guys that has really good size to them. They're like 6'3", 6'4", and they can run. So they can use their legs to beat you and can throw the ball. Then in the running back position, they're playing with two good running backs. And then offensive line wise, they're big. They're a big team, a Big Ten looking team. Defensively, a lot of multiple, what they do on defense, very multiple on defense. And so, we're going to have to play, and we're going to have to play one of our best, and we're on the road, so we're really going to have to play well. And going into Soldier Field, both teams are going to be fired up playing in a pro stadium. But it's going to be a great challenge for us, and we're going to have to play really well on the road. I'm sorry. Durant has an ankle right now. Just don't know, just game time wise, don't know where we're going to be with him. But we're going to work him this week and try to get him ready.
I know you didn't have an update on Nathan Cook, but is he still with the team?
Oh, he's with the team. Yes.
Coach, I know you haven't you've only been around here a year, haven't had a chance to really maybe get to know Dr. Ginchak well, but just your thoughts on her retirement.
She has done so much for this university, and we talk about this being preeminent, and you talk about being a member of Phi Beta Kappa, and then what she has just done, with the $1 billion fundraiser. I mean, I was at that event back in December, and that's actually when I first met Joe Momberg, and I saw that we raised that much, and I said, well, we need to raise that type of money in athletics. So I was with her, and I said, Judy, I'd like to have Joel to help us raise our money so we can get it going. And she said, hey, you're more than welcome. So we got Joel on board with us here to help us. But, when someone has put so many years into their job, and she has so much passion for this university, and she you look at what she did, and she wanted to make it better, and she did make it better. And it's her legacy. When you can leave a legacy like that, where you had your imprint, and her imprint will always be on this university and what she's done for it. And you hate to see her leave because of what she's done and the passion she has and how much she loves not only the student athletes but all students on this campus. I can remember when I came here in the interview, we were talking, and she's like, Coach, I do not, if I see anybody with any type of shirt other than South Florida, I make them take it off, and I just march them to the bookstore and put a shirt on them. But that just shows you right there, like, well, how passionate she is about the university. But I mean, it's going to be a big loss for us, and you just hate to see it happen. But like I said, because of what she's done, even with the research, and you look at now with the medical school going downtown, and the effort that she put into that, and just making everything about this university better from the academic side to the athletic side.
Along the lines of changing kids' shirts who don't have the Bulls shirt on, I know over the weekend you were very passionate about creating this into solely a Bulls town. Is it more difficult than a place like UCF because there are 3 professional teams in town because of that factor?
No, I think that it's all about consistency, and I think it's consistency within your program. And if we continue to win games and we continue to, because we got to build it, and you got to build that atmosphere. And if you continue to build that atmosphere, and like a team like Georgia Tech coming in here to play us, and that created a buzz, and then you get a lot more people in the stadium. But if we could continue to play well and do our part, then everybody else will get on board with us. It's funny now how you see, like, either even fans of different schools, if you see you play well, then they don't have to take a drive somewhere else. They can just drive, right down the street to watch us play, and that's what you want to create. And if we can continue to play as well as we're playing, I think we can get that done.
Offensively, was that the best second half you've seen from this unit in your plus 2 games?
Well, it's really big in the second half because we put up 21 points in the fourth quarter and then give up any. And but you just watch where we got in a rhythm there, and we were able to create that rhythm, and we stayed on track. And with Blake, either he's throwing the ball well, or he's going to beat you with his feet and get some big critical third downs. And then the guys making the catches, from McCants to Horn to just guys, or even the one you threw to Solly, where Solly makes a guy miss outside and goes in for the score. And that's what you want to see happening, where guys can make catches, a 5-yard turns into a 15, 20, or even a touchdown. But once we got into that rhythm and the confidence you see the turnovers and you see the confidence, and you just start building. Then those guys felt like, hey, just get us the ball back. And that's what I said when we were 3 down with 8 minutes to go. I said, we just get the ball. I told our defense, guys, just hold them to a field goal, get the ball back for our offense, because we're going to go score. And then we're going to go win the game, or somehow we're going to find a way. Just give me 1 point. I told our defensive coaches, I said, I don't care if these guys get 1,000 yards a day on offense, just win the game. If it's 1 point more, forget it. We just won the game. Sometimes as a defensive coach, you get a little ego. Come on, coach, don't say 1,000. So, well, I mean, the way it's going, they may get 1,000. So, we need to stop them somehow.